Ryan worked on the lowest level of HFY, a large space station floating above the mining planet Arcturus 6. He was a janitor. Every day he cleaned the floors, emptied waste bins, and kept the corridors tidy. People passed by him without noticing. They never asked his name. They never said thank you. He liked it that way. He wore a plain grey uniform with a patch that read Station Maintenance. His boots were old and scuffed. His hands were rough, but steady. He didn't talk much. He didn't smile often. He just worked. Ryan lived in a small room deep inside the maintenance quarters. The walls were metal and the lights flickered sometimes. He had a small bed, a desk, and an old book he read again and again. He didn't need much. He didn't want much. Each morning he woke up early. He washed his face, put on his uniform, and grabbed his cleaning cart. The station was always busy. Workers, traders, and travelers moved through the halls. Security officers stood on corners. Announcements echoed from speakers above, but Ryan stayed quiet. He listened. He watched. He noticed things, other people. Didn't a panel slightly loose near the cargo bay? A camera pointing in the wrong direction near the docking port? Shadows where there should be none. He remembered it all, but told no one. People didn't like questions. And Ryan didn't like trouble. One day, while he was cleaning near the docking ring, a new ship arrived. It was sleek and white with the flag of Earth on its side. Important people walked out. Security made a path. And in the middle of them was a young woman in a sharp suit. She had dark hair tied back and eyes that didn't miss much. Ryan watched from a distance. He saw the way she spoke with the station commander. Her name was Lisa. She was a diplomat, here to talk to the mining companies. Some of them were fighting over land, resources, and trade routes. She came to stop it before things got worse. As the group passed, Lisa looked at Ryan for a moment. Just one glance. She didn't smile. She didn't stop. But Ryan felt something. Strange, a small spark. Like she noticed he was there. That evening, Ryan sat in his room and thought about her. He didn't know why. Maybe it was the way she walked. Maybe it was her eyes. Maybe it was just that someone looked at him like he was a person, not just part of the wall. The next few days passed quietly. Ryan saw Lisa on screens and in reports. She gave speeches. She met with leaders. Some people cheered for her. Others didn't trust her. But she didn't stop. Ryan kept cleaning. He swept the floors outside meeting rooms. He emptied bins near the council chamber. He stayed in the background, but he kept watching. One night, as he walked past the arboretum, he saw someone placing a strange box under a bench. The figure wore dark clothes and moved quickly. Ryan paused. He felt his heart beat faster. Then the figure disappeared into the shadows. Ryan walked over and looked at the box. It had a blinking red light. He knew it was bad. He had seen devices like this before, not on this station, but long ago. He didn't say a word. He picked up the box and carried it down to the waste chute. Then he dropped it inside and ran back. He didn't tell anyone. If he told security, they would ask questions. They would look into his past. And Ryan didn't want that. The next morning, Lisa gave a speech in the arboretum. Ryan watched from a distance. He stood behind a tall plant and leaned on his cart. She spoke with strength and hope. She said peace was still possible. People clapped. Then there was a loud sound. A second box exploded near the main platform. Fire spread across the grass. People screamed. Metal beams fell from above. The floor cracked. Smoke filled the air. Ryan didn't run. He dropped his cart and pushed through the crowd. His skin burned, but he didn't stop. His eyes watered, but he kept going. He found Lisa trapped under a beam, coughing and hurt. She looked at him, her eyes wide with pain and fear. Without a word, Ryan lifted the beam. It was heavy, but he didn't feel it. Fire licked at his sleeves. Sparks danced around him. He pulled Lisa out and carried her toward the emergency exit. A camera caught the moment. Everyone saw him. But Ryan didn't notice. He laid her down near the medics. Then he walked away. People shouted. They wanted to know who he was. But Ryan disappeared. Into the smoke. He didn't want thanks. He didn't want praise. He just wanted to be forgotten again. But that would no longer be possible. The janitor, who no one noticed, had just saved the most important person on the station. And someone, somewhere, had seen him do it. Ryan stayed in the shadows after the fire. People were looking for him. News channels showed his face. They called him a hero. Some called him a mystery. Others asked how a janitor could carry a person through fire without getting hurt. Ryan didn't answer. He stayed quiet and cleaned empty halls at night. Security teams searched the station. They checked names and faces. They wanted to find Ryan. Some said he must be trained. Some said he was not just a janitor. Ryan knew it was only a matter of time before they found him. Lisa was in the medical center. She had burns on her legs and arms. The doctors said she was lucky to be alive. She asked who saved her, but no one knew. The camera footage showed Ryan carrying her, but his name was not listed in the staff records. Somehow, he had been hiding. In plain sight, a few days later, Lisa walked again. Her bandages were still fresh, but she was strong. She told her guards she wanted to meet the man who saved her. The guards said he had not come forward. Lisa said she would find him herself. That same day, Ryan was called to clean the upper-level hallways. It was strange. He usually stayed in the lower decks. But orders came, and he followed. He pushed his cart into the wide, clean corridor. The lights were brighter here. The air smelled different. There were cameras on every wall. Lisa was standing. There she looked at him. Her eyes were soft but sharp. She said, "You were the one who pulled me from the fire." Ryan said nothing. He looked down. "You saved my life," she said. "Why?" He shrugged. "You needed help." She stepped closer. "Your name isn't on the crew list. Who are you really?" Ryan paused. Then he said, "Just a janitor." Lisa smiled a little. "A janitor who walks through fire." Security guards watched from the corner, unsure what to do. Lisa raised a hand, telling them to wait. "I want to thank you," she said. "But I also want to understand. You saved me and then disappeared. Why?" Ryan looked at her. His face was calm, but there was pain in his eyes. "Because when people notice you, they start asking questions. And questions lead to trouble." Lisa nodded. She didn't push him more. Instead, she asked, "Can we talk in private?" Ryan agreed. They went to a quiet room near the observation deck. It had large windows that showed the stars. The station lights reflected off the glass. Lisa sat on a chair. Ryan stood by the door. "I came here to stop a war," Lisa said. "The mining companies are ready to fight. People could die. I want peace, but someone wants me dead. You saw it. You stopped it." Ryan nodded. "There was another bomb. I saw it before. I got rid of it." Lisa looked surprised. "Why didn't you tell anyone?" "Because they wouldn't listen. and they'd start asking about me. She asked, "What are you hiding from?" Ryan didn't answer right away. He looked out the window. Then he said, "A long time ago, people did things to kids. Experiments. They wanted to make us stronger, faster, harder to kill. Most didn't survive. I did, but I ran. I never wanted to be part of it." Lisa listened carefully. "They made you like this," Ryan said. "They tried to make weapons, but I'm not a weapon. I just want peace." She nodded. "So do I. But now that you saved me, people will look for you. They will want to use you, or destroy you." "I know," Ryan said. "That's why I have to leave." "Let me help you," Lisa said. "I can protect you." Ryan shook his head. "You're already a target. I don't want to bring more danger to you." "Maybe we can protect each other," she said. He looked at her. There was something honest in her voice. Something true. Before he could answer, the lights went red. An alarm sounded. A voice on the speaker said, "Unauthorized ship approaching. All security teams report to level 4. Lisa stood up. "They're coming again." Ryan moved fast. "We need to get you somewhere safe." They ran through the halls. Guards joined them. Lisa gave orders. Ryan kept looking around. He felt something wrong. Too many cameras had gone dark. Too many guards were missing. "This isn't just a threat," Ryan said. "They're already inside." The guards raised their weapons. Lisa was taken to a secure room. Ryan stayed outside with the team. He waited. Then he heard a sharp noise, then silence. One by one, the guards fell, not dead, just stunned. Figures in black armor stepped out of the shadows. They moved like machines, fast, quiet, dangerous. Ryan didn't run. He stepped forward, fist ready. The fight had just begun. The black-armored attackers moved fast through the hallway. They didn't speak. They didn't hesitate. Their weapons were quiet but deadly. They had one goal each. Lisa. Ryan stood between them and the door. The guards around him were already down. Only Ryan remained. He watched the attackers with calm eyes. His heart was steady. He had faced danger before, but this time it was different. This time, someone behind the door mattered to him. The first attacker rushed forward. Ryan ducked under a punch and slammed his elbow into the man's chest. The armor cracked. The attacker flew back and hit the wall hard. Another came from the side. Ryan caught his arm, twisted, and knocked him down. They didn't expect him to fight like that. A janitor wasn't supposed to be strong. He wasn't supposed to move so fast. But Ryan was not normal. The third man shot at him. Ryan rolled aside. The blast scorched the wall. He grabbed a fallen guard's baton and threw it like a spear. It hit the attacker's helmet and dropped him to the floor. More came. Too many. Ryan pressed the alarm panel by the door. "Lock this room now," he shouted. Lisa's voice came through a speaker. "I'm not leaving you out there. Just stay inside," Ryan said. "I'll hold them." The door sealed shut. Ryan turned back to the attackers. They circled him. He was hurt now. A burn on his arm. A cut on his cheek. But he didn't stop. Then everything went quiet. A new figure walked forward. He wasn't like the others. No armor, just a dark coat. He had cold eyes and a calm face. "So," the man said, "you survived." "I wasn't sure." Ryan stared at him. "I remember you." "I remember you too," the man said. "You were the strong one. You broke the machine. You escaped." "I was a child," Ryan said. You were a project, the man replied. And now you're a problem. The man raised a hand. The soldiers aimed their weapons. Ryan was fast, but not faster than bullets. He had to think. Suddenly, the lights flickered. Smoke filled the hallway. A loud bang shook the floor. Someone had triggered the fire system. Water sprayed from the ceiling. Ryan used the moment. He charged through the smoke. He grabbed two soldiers, slammed their heads together, and kept moving. The rest fired blindly. He reached a side door and slipped inside. He ran down a service tunnel. The attackers followed, but the space was narrow. Ryan moved fast, using paths. Only maintenance workers knew. He reached the command deck. Alarms were going off across the station. Security teams were confused. Some had been paid to look the other way. Others were too scared to act. Lisa's voice came through the station. Speakers, this is a message to all crew and visitors. We are under attack by unknown forces. Stay in safe zones. Trust no one without proper ID. Ryan broke into a supply room. He grabbed a tool belt, a shock glove, and a welding torch. These were not weapons, but in his hands they would do. He made his way to the med bay. Lisa was being moved there with her guards. She had convinced them to unlock the door once the attackers left. When Ryan arrived, Lisa looked at him with wide eyes. You're hurt. I'm fine, he said. We need to get you out. One of the guards asked, Who are you really? Ryan looked at him. I'm the reason you're still alive. That's enough for now. Lisa nodded. We have to reach the tower. I can send a signal to Earth. Let them know what's happening. Ryan led the group through side paths. He knew every part of the station, every vent, every back tunnel. They avoided patrols. They stayed low. At one point, Lisa stopped him. Why do they want me dead so badly? Ryan answered, Because you bring peace. Peace means less money for them. War makes them rich. You're a threat, and you, she asked. I'm proof, he said. Proof they did something wrong. Something evil. If the world sees me, they'll ask why I exist. They reached the tower, but it was guarded. 3 soldiers waited outside. Ryan looked at the guards with Lisa. Stay here. Before they could speak, he moved. He climbed a pipe and dropped from above. He hit one guard with his elbow and kicked another. The third raised a gun, but Ryan pulled the shock glove from his belt and pressed it against the man's neck. The soldier dropped. Lisa and her team ran forward. Ryan opened the door. They rushed inside. Lisa sat at the control panel. She typed fast. The system was slow, damaged. They tried to block the signal, she said. But I can break through. Ryan watched the door. Hurry. The system beeped. The signal went out. Message sent, Lisa said. Earth will hear us. Ryan sighed, with relief. But the danger wasn't over. They'll come harder now, Ryan said. We need to prepare. Lisa stood beside him. Then let's finish this together. The janitor and the diplomat. A strange team. But they were ready to fight. The fire had started something, and now nothing would stop it. Ryan and Lisa stayed inside the tower after sending the message. The room was quiet now, but they both knew it wouldn't stay that way for long. The signal had gone out, and the people behind the attack would be angry. They would come. Lisa looked at Ryan. He was sitting near the door, his back against the wall, his eyes watching. He didn't speak much. He didn't move much. But his body was tense, like a spring ready to snap. How long do you think we have? Lisa asked. Not long, Ryan said. Maybe an hour, maybe less. Lisa walked over to him. You saved me again. I owe you. Ryan shook his head. You don't owe me anything. You did the right thing. So did you, she said. They sat in silence for a moment, then Ryan stood. We need to move. The tower won't hold. They made their way through a service hatch at the back of the room. Ryan led them into narrow tunnels that only maintenance crews used. Pipes hissed with steam, and the air smelled of oil and dust. The sound of boots echoed behind them. The attackers were searching. Lisa had a map on her small screen. If we go left, we reach the control room. If we take the main path, we'll be exposed. We take the small vents, Ryan said. It's slower but safer. They crawled through tight spaces. At one point, Lisa scraped her arm against a bolt. Ryan stopped and gave her a strip of cloth from his sleeve to stop the bleeding. You're calm, she said. Even now, fear is useful, he said, but panic is not. They reached a small grate above the control room. Below, officers were shouting. Some were loyal, others were not. The room was a mix of fear and confusion. Lisa whispered, if we can take that room, we can control the station. Lock out the attackers. Ryan nodded. Wait here. Before she could stop him, Ryan dropped through the grate. He landed silently and moved like a shadow. One guard turned to speak and fell as Ryan knocked him out. Another raised his weapon, but Ryan disarmed him with a fast move and a punch. The loyal officers stared in shock. I'm not here to hurt you, Ryan said. We need control of the station. We need to lock it down, now. Lisa dropped down behind him. This man saved my life. He's with me. Listen to him. The officers obeyed. Ryan and Lisa stood at the command table. Sealed the docking bay, Lisa ordered. Cut power to the weapons deck. Shut down all private ships. Yes, ma'am, one officer replied. What about the main computer? Ryan asked. It's in the core room. Another officer said, but it's risky. That area is open. Ryan looked at Lisa. If we can reach it, we can shut everything down and stop more attackers from landing. Then let's go, she said. They moved with a small team. Ryan led the way. The halls were quiet but filled with tension. At one point, they passed a window. Outside, ships were circling the station. Backup might be coming, or maybe more enemies. They reached the core room. The door was locked from inside. Ryan looked at the panel. I can break it, he said. He used his tools. Sparks flew. The panel opened. He pulled wires, pressed buttons, and the door slid open. Inside, they found 3 attackers guarding the main computer. The fight was fast and rough. Ryan took to Lisa and a guard handled the third. When the room was clear, Ryan sealed the door. Lisa ran to the console. I need time, she said. You have it, Ryan replied. He stood at the door, listening for steps. The station creaked and buzzed around them. Lisa worked fast. She typed codes, checked systems, and sent alerts. The station began to change. Doors locked. Enemy access was denied. Lights turned red in the halls where the attackers were hiding. It's working, she said. They're trapped. Ryan smiled a little. Good. Suddenly, a voice came through the speaker. Ryan, I know you can hear me. Ryan froze. It was the man in the dark coat, the one from the hallway. You think you can stop this? You think saving one woman will fix what we built? You're just a failed experiment, a tool that broke. Ryan stepped closer to the speaker. I'm not your tool. You can't run from what you are, the voice said. You were made for war, and war is coming. The message ended. Lisa looked at Ryan. Who was that? The man who started all of this, Ryan said. The one who hurt me. The one who made me. We have to stop him, Lisa said. We will, Ryan answered. But first, we protect this station. Ryan turned back to the door. More danger was coming. But now, they had control. The man who was once a nobody was no longer hiding, and the world was finally starting to see him. The station was quiet for a short time. Ryan stood near the main door of the core room, watching the hallway. His eyes didn't blink much. His ears listened for every sound. He knew they were not safe yet. More enemies could come. They always did. Lisa worked at the computer console. She was tired, but her hands moved fast. She was sending messages to Earth and nearby ships. She told them everything about the attack, the danger, and the truth about Ryan. The signal is strong, she said. It will reach the main command center on Earth in minutes. Ryan nodded. Good. Lisa looked at him. Are you ready to tell them who you really are? Ryan was quiet. He had lived in silence for so many years. Talking about the past was not easy, but now people were dying. Hiding would not help anymore. Yes, he said at last. It's time. They walked back to the control room. Lisa told the officers to start a live broadcast. People across the station and beyond would see it. Lisa stood at the front. Ryan stood beside her. I'm Lisa, she said into the camera. A diplomat from Earth. I came here to stop a war, but what I found was something much darker. She looked at Ryan. This is Ryan. You've seen his face. You've seen what he can do. He's not a soldier. He's not a weapon. He's a man who was hurt by people who should have protected him. Ryan stepped forward. They took us as children. He said, they said we were special. They put us in cold rooms. They ran tests. They wanted to make us strong. Fire, pressure, panic, didn't matter. They kept going. Some died. I lived. Then I ran. I thought I could hide. But hiding doesn't stop evil. He looked into the camera. His voice was calm but heavy. The people who did this are still out there. They want war, fear, and control, but they can be stopped. I'm not a hero. I'm not perfect. I'm just someone who stood up when it mattered, and I believe we all can. The broadcast ended. Silence filled the room. Lisa turned to Ryan. You did it. It's not over, he said. She nodded. Then let's finish it. Suddenly, a loud noise shook the station. Lights flickered. A new alarm started to ring. What was that? One of the officers asked. Another checked the screen. A ship just crashed into the lower dock. Unauthorized enemy boarding team confirmed. Ryan's eyes narrowed. They're coming. Again, Lisa took a deep breath. Then we fight. Ryan and a team of loyal guards moved fast. They ran down to the lower dock. Smoke filled the air. Fires burned along the walls. Enemy soldiers were pouring in through the broken gate. Ryan didn't wait. He ran into the fight. His fists moved like steel. He knocked one man down, dodged a blast, and threw another into a wall. The guards followed his lead. Lisa stayed at the back, giving orders and helping the wounded. It was a hard battle. The enemy was trained and strong, but Ryan was stronger. He felt pain in his side, but he kept going. He saw a child hiding behind a crate. Without thinking, he ran to her, picked her up, and carried her to safety. "You're safe now," he told her. She looked up at him with wide eyes. "Are you a superhero?" Ryan shook his head. "No, just a man." He ran back into the fight. Meanwhile, Lisa found a fallen enemy captain. She searched his pocket and found a small data chip. She ran back to the control room and gave it to the tech officer. "What's on this?" she asked. The tech worked fast. "It's a list. Names, locations, hidden labs." They were planning something big. Lisa's face turned pale. "We need to send this to Earth. Right now." Ryan returned, breathing hard. His uniform was torn and his face was dirty. But he smiled. "Doc is clear," he said. "For now." Lisa gave him the chip. "This is proof of everything." Ryan looked at it. He remembered the pain, the cold rooms, the voices telling him to obey. He held the chip tightly. "Then let's end this," he said. They sent the data to Earth. Then they called for help from nearby fleets. Within an hour, Allied ships arrived. Enemy soldiers tried to run, but it was too late. The battle was over. Ryan stood on the deck, looking out at the stars. Lisa came beside him. "People are asking about you," she said. "They want to know what you'll do next." Ryan smiled. "I just want to rest. Maybe clean a hallway or two." Lisa laughed. "You'll always be more than a janitor now." He nodded. "Maybe, but I'll always be me." And for the first time in a long time, Ryan felt free. The man who once had no name now had a purpose, and he was no longer alone. Asterisk days passed after the battle. The station was quiet again, but it was not the same. Broken walls were being repaired. Fires had been put out. People walked the halls slowly, still remembering the fight. Ryan helped where he could. He didn't wear a uniform. He didn't give speeches. He simply picked up tools and worked beside the crew. He fixed broken doors and carried supplies. People started greeting him. Some smiled. Others just nodded with respect. But Ryan still felt something heavy inside. He had stopped one attack, but he knew there was more. The man in the dark coat was still out there, and the data they had sent to Earth showed that the enemy had many other secret labs. Ryan knew the fight wasn't over. Lisa stayed busy too. She worked with the station leaders to bring order back. She held meetings, made reports, and spoke to people from Earth. Her message was clear. This kind of secret program must end. People must be protected, not used. One evening, Lisa found Ryan sitting alone near the observation deck. He was watching the stars. "You're always here," she said, sitting beside him. "It's quiet here," he replied. "You've done a lot for this place," she said. "People trust you now." Ryan looked at her. "But the danger isn't gone." "No," she said. "But we have a chance to stop it." She handed him a small device. It showed a map with many red dots. "These are the known labs. Hidden places where children like you were taken." Ryan stared at the map. So many dots, so many places. "We can't do it alone," Lisa said. "But with this data, Earth will send teams. We can shut them down." "I want to help," Ryan said. "I know how these places work. I know what to look for." Lisa smiled. "Then come with me. Not as a soldier, not as a weapon, but as someone who understands." Ryan agreed. The next day, they left the station on a small ship. The crew was small, just a pilot, 2 guards, Lisa and Ryan. Their first stop was a moon base near a gas giant. The lab was hidden under rock and ice. They landed at night. Ryan led the way through a narrow tunnel. It was cold. The walls were covered in frost. "This place feels familiar," Ryan said quietly. Lisa followed close behind. The guards stayed alert. They reached a large metal door. Ryan placed his hand on the scanner. The door clicked and opened inside. The lights flickered. Dust covered the floor. Machines stood silent, but Ryan could still hear the sounds in his mind, the noise of machines, the voices of doctors, the cries of children. "It's empty," one guard said. "For now," Ryan replied. "But they'll come back if we don't stop them." They searched the lab. Lisa found a locked cabinet. Ryan broke it open. Inside were files, videos, and samples, proof of what had been done. They took everything and returned to the ship. Lisa sent the data to Earth. The reply came fast. "Good work. Proceed to next location." They visited 3 more labs. Some were empty. Some had guards who ran when they saw Ryan. People were afraid of him. They had heard stories about the man who walked through fire and broke steel doors. The 5th lab, they found something different. Children, about 10 of them. They were locked in rooms, small, scared, and silent. Lisa rushed to open the doors. Ryan knelt beside one boy who looked about 8 years old. "It's okay," Ryan said, softly. "You're safe now." The boy looked at him with wide eyes. "Are you like me?" Ryan nodded. "Yes, but now you don't have to be afraid." They took the children back to the ship. Lisa called for rescue teams. Doctors and care workers came. The children were taken to a safe center. That night, Ryan stood outside the shelter and watched. The stars again. Lisa came to stand beside him. "You did something good today," she said. "I just stopped what happened to me from happening again," Ryan replied. Lisa placed a hand on his shoulder. "You gave them a chance. That matters." Ryan looked at the sky. "How many more are there?" "Too many," Lisa said. "But fewer now, and every time we stop one, we save lives." Ryan nodded. "Then we keep going." And they did. Together, they flew from place to place. Ryan became a symbol of hope for some, and fear for others. He didn't like attention. He didn't like the name people gave him, the Fireborn Man. But he kept going because he knew what was right. Each lab shut down was a small victory. Each child saved was a light in the dark. Ryan, once a nobody, was now something more. Not because of his strength or his past, but because he chose to help, and he wasn't alone anymore.